Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I just wanted to tell you so far my experience of working at USPS. I was hired on as a rural carrier for a very small station. We have about 6 routes. One of them is an aux route, which is, if you don't know what an aux route is, it's kind of a route that is a route, but it doesn't have near as many homes or businesses. So it's just a little bit smaller, and usually, from what I've heard, it goes to the person that has been there the longest because it is consistent pay for them. So that's usually what an aux route is. So I wanted to go over the hiring process. I wrote it down, my days. Let me flip to it. So today is May 21st. I cannot believe it's already May. I applied back in March. March 5th was the day that I applied. So if you don't know this about the process of it, when you apply, you have to wait until the closing date before they start sending out job offers. It's not the next day. It's not the next second day. Depending on when the job was posted, it stays up for 5 days, and then about a day or 2 days afterwards, depending on how it falls, that's when they start sending out job offers and everything like that. So I applied on the 5th of March. I guess like it had been up there a while. I didn't check to see because I didn't know this at the time. I did get a background request 3 days after that, and they just run your background, your social security number and everything like that to make sure you are who you say you are. After that, about 5 days later, I got a request for my motor vehicle background. They run your driver's license to make sure you don't have any crazy tickets or suspended license, stuff like that. I did have a toll ticket on my record when we drove to, I think it was Oklahoma. We didn't know how the tolls worked, and so I just went right past that. But I did pay that ticket, so it wasn't like outstanding. So after I submitted that, 3 days later I got my job offer, and about a day later is when they want to do your fingerprinting. As long as everything comes back with your fingerprinting, about another 5 days or less, you'll hear. I had a phone call. Most people, I guess, don't get that, but I had a phone call to confirm I was still interested in the job, because I guess it is a long process. To me, it only took 3 weeks, but sometimes it takes like 3 months for people, but it was only 3 weeks for me. So I had my phone call, and it was from like the main district in my state that was the closest to me. So they called and asked if I was still ready to wanting the job, and then they asked when I could start. So there was 2 options. You could take one that was like happening that following week, or one that was about 2 or 3 weeks later. I had a job at the time, so I had to put my 2 weeks notice in, so I took the later date. And after I accepted that, he told me that my start date would be blah blah blah. Like, they give you a start date, but I think that's just for the payroll, but you don't go to orientation until a certain day. And so I picked my orientation date. I got a confirmation from my other closest district, that was the biggest one, that keeps the HR people at. So I heard from them on the 7th of April. And then a few days later, which it kind of tells you this, in every email, it tells you what to expect for the next email, and what should be happening after that to help you ease your mind so that you're not twiddling your thumbs. It doesn't always work out this way for some people. I heard like it takes 3 months, it takes 4 months, it takes 6 months, you can be on a pre-hire list and all this. Like, I didn't have any issues with that. I applied at several places, and pretty much any place that I applied at, I was offered a job. Of course, I declined it because I had already accepted a job. So anyway, so after you got the orientation email, a few days later, you get access to Light Blue, and you get a welcome email as well. And you can read through all of that. I was able to get on my Light Blue, and then a few days later, Light Blue crashed and I was not able to get onto it. But I was able to set up my direct deposit and put my, like, what, I don't know what it, like your W-4 information in there, I think. The thing that tells you how many deductibles you want out of your taxes. And after all that, you get your welcome email. It has more information on there, but your orientation email has everything to expect that first like 2 weeks of orientation, your driving, and your academy that you attend. So you have to hold on to that email. Make sure, like, I saved it. I had the little star notification so that I knew exactly where it was and where to find it. I also printed it off just to be safe because it has directions on there. I didn't use the directions, obviously. I just typed it into my GPS and took me right to it. So, but it was a rule. It did have rules in there. It told you what to wear. It told you the shoes that you need to wear, which I just wore black leather shoes. Totally fine. I know, like, people say that, like, when they did their orientation, their shoes got inspected. I didn't have that. Like, there's a girl that wore tennis shoes that was mesh on top, and I knew, like, from other videos, like, people got sent home for mesh shoes on top of your shoe and not the leather. So they didn't really care too much about that. I didn't have that issue, but I did be prepared, and I wore my leather shoes. I also took a notebook and a pen for writing as well. It does, I think it suggests that, or it says a pen for sure, which, yes, do bring a pen, because I did not realize, like, how, I don't want to say stingy, but, like, there was no pens. Like, they were asking people, like, in the HR department if they could have pens, and I think, like, 80% of those ladies that work there, they have to supply their own pen. So I was super shocked at they don't even have a pen for everybody to use. So I was blown away with that. But so yeah, that was my hiring process. It was rolling right after another. I did get really antsy and I joined some Facebook groups, and that was because I just wanted to know what to expect. I don't know if it's because I'm older, but when I was younger and I accepted jobs, like, I just accepted it. But now that I'm older, I'm like, I need to know what I'm getting myself into. I don't want to be surprised and be like, whoa, I had no clue. Like, I do my own kind of research, and so I just like to be very prepared that way. And I did join a couple Facebook groups, and then you hear it right from the horse's mouth how USPS really is. And unfortunately, you have a lot of naysayers, and it's very disheartening to hear, because I actually really do like it. I like the people I work with. I like the job. It's a hard job, but it feels, it just feels different, because I come from the medical field, and obviously in the medical field, you have a lot of rewarding moments there, and it just feels a little bit different. In a way, it's still rewarding, but in a way, it's just, it doesn't seem real, I guess, because I've never known a post person. I've never known a mailman. I've never known a mail woman. I don't know. It just seems so unreal in a sense, but I do like it. I love it. It's super fun. I enjoy being on the road. I enjoy my coworkers. I enjoy my postmaster. I have a fill-in postmaster right now. The new postmaster has not started. But yeah, the hiring process for me went by pretty quick. It was pretty simple. I was able just to get it all done. As soon as I got every email, I kind of feared it was like a first come first serve, so I was on top of it. I was watching my email every day. I was making sure everything was done. I read over the emails 3 or 4 times to make sure I didn't miss anything. I had checklists because you do have to do a lot of process of steps of, you know, your fingerprinting, your background, your motor, you know, your motor vehicle background, all this and that you have to do, and it has to be completed or you're not eligible. And I was worried, like, oh, what if I'm, you know, late at turning in this email and there's a person right behind me and they beat me to it. So I just didn't know how that process would be. You don't have an interview, you don't meet anybody, you don't talk to anybody from your post office until around your last day of orientation is when you really get contacted by the postmaster there. I love my postmaster, super nice lady. I got the lottery with her, but it turns out she was just a temp. But anyway, so that's just my experience with the hiring process. I do have a hiring process with the city carrier that I will be making a video, and I will also do a video of why I'm leaving the rural carrying side. So that is all for that. You guys have a wonderful day. Leave your comments below and like and subscribe.